Hi, my name is Kathy Hinton, and the purpose of my report today is to analyze 3 universities, compare them using specific criteria points, and, having compared them, make a recommendation as to which school would be best to go to for a master's in business administration. The schools I chose are Stanford Graduate School of Business, the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, and Columbia School of Business. And I chose these 3 universities from top 10 lists of business school with concentration on finance, as reported in Forbes, Bloomberg, and U.S. News and World Reports. I also wanted to choose schools that represent the United States, so I chose a West Coast school, Stanford in California, a Midwest school, Chicago Booth in Illinois, and an East Coast school, Columbia University in New York. The 5 criteria points that I used to analyze were cost, caliber, accessibility, convenience, and campus safety. For cost, the data I used was tuition and fees, books and supplies, as well as average cost to rent an apartment near campus. And the school with the lowest combined total of these factors will win this point. For caliber, I accessed university rankings from Forbes, Bloomberg, and U.S. News and World Reports, as well as compared the median salary for each school to gauge the average a graduate student might anticipate to receive after graduation. And the school with the highest median salary will win the point. For accessibility, the acceptance rates and the GMAT scores are what I used to compare. And the easiest school to get into is going to win this point. For convenience, for this criteria, I will compare to see how long each program takes. And quite simply, the university with the least amount of time to complete their MBA schedule will win this point. For campus safety, there are 4 categories of crimes reported on campus: disciplinary actions, arrest for possession, violence against women, as well as arrests for violent crimes. And I will use the school with the lowest percentage of violence against women and arrest for major crimes. And the school with the lowest percentage will win that criteria point. In the event of a tie, I will go back to the caliber rankings, and the school with the highest ranking out of MBA with concentration in finance will win that tie-breaking point if needs be. Again, for my first criteria, the point is cost, and my analysis of the 3 schools found for Columbia, the total cost for the program would be $262,000. For Stanford, $227,000, and for Chicago Booth, $194,000. So at $194,000, Chicago Booth is the winner of the cost point. For the next point, which is caliber, the median salary for Columbia and Chicago Booth are actually reported at the same, which is $125,000. For Stanford, the reported salary, the median, is $157,500. Therefore, Stanford wins the criteria point for caliber. Criteria point 3 is accessibility, and the GMAT scores for the 3 schools were almost identical, with only a separation of about 10 points. For Columbia, 740, for Stanford, 732, and for Chicago Booth, 730. It's too close to compare, really. However, the percentage of students accepted to the school is different. For Columbia, they have an acceptance percentage of 6.11, Stanford 14.57, and Chicago Booth at 4.13. So Stanford is the clear winner here with 14.57% acceptance rate. For the criteria of convenience, both Columbia and Stanford have a 2-year completion schedule. Chicago Booth, however, has a time frame of 21 months to complete their MBA program. So Chicago Booth wins this criteria point. Campus safety is my 5th and final criteria. I combined the percentage of campus incidents for violent crimes reported in crimes against women and arrests for major crimes. And the total for Columbia is 19.4%. For Stanford, 74.4%, and Chicago, 75%. So Columbia wins the point for safest campus. To recap, the win for each criteria is as follows. For cost, Chicago Booth. For caliber, Stanford. For accessibility, Stanford. For convenience, Chicago Booth. And for campus safety, Columbia. And if you're keeping track, you'll know that there's a tie between Chicago Booth and Stanford. So we go to the tie-breaking point, which is the highest ranking MBA with concentration in finance. And number 8 is Columbia, and number 3, Chicago Booth. So at number 1 is Stanford. They win the tie-breaking point, and therefore they get my recommendation for MBA to choose. Thank you.